Mdina, also known by its Italian language titles Città Vecchia, Old City, and Città Notable City, is a fortified city in the northern region of Malta which served as the island's capital from antiquity to the medieval period. The city is still confined within its walls, and has a population of just under 300, but it is contiguous with the town of Rabat, which takes its name from the Arabic word for suburb, and has a population of over 11,000. The city was founded as Malta in around the 8th century BC by Phoenician settlers, and was later renamed Melite by the Romans. Ancient Melite was larger than present-day Mdina, and it was reduced to its present size during the Byzantine or Arab occupation of Malta. During the latter period, the city adopted its present name, which derives from the Arabic word Medina. The city remained the capital of Malta throughout the Middle Ages, until the arrival of the Order of St. John in 1530, when Birgu became the administrative center of the island. Mdina experienced a period of decline over the following centuries, although it saw a revival in the early 18th century. At this point, it acquired several Baroque features, although it did not lose its medieval character. Mdina remained the center of the Maltese nobility and religious authorities, and property continues to largely be passed down from families and from generation to generation, but it never regained its pre-1530 importance, giving rise to the popular nickname the Silent City by both locals and visitors. Mdina is on the tentative list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and it is now one of the main tourist attractions in Malta. Mdina suffered severe damage during the 1693 Sicily earthquake. Although no casualties were reported, the 13th century Cathedral of St. Paul was partially destroyed, and it was rebuilt by Lorenzo Gaffa in the Baroque style between 1697 and 1703. On November 3, 1722, newly elected Grand Master Antonio Manuel de Vilhena issued orders for the restoration and renovation of Mdina. This renovation was entrusted to the French architect and military engineer Charles-François de Mundien, who introduced strong French Baroque elements into what was still a largely medieval city. At this point, large parts of the fortifications and the city entrance were completely rebuilt. The remains of the Castello di la Città were demolished to make way for Palazzo Vilhena, while the main gate was walled up and a new Mdina gate was built nearby. Several public buildings were also built, including the Banca Giratel and the Corte Capitanelli. The last major addition to the Mdina fortifications was Tespuig Bastion, which was completed in 1746. On June 10, 1798, Mdina was captured by French forces without much resistance during the French invasion of Malta. A French garrison remained in the city, but a Maltese uprising broke out on 2nd of September of that year. The following day, rebels entered the city through a sally port and massacred the garrison of 65 men. These events marked the beginning of a 2-year uprising and blockade, and the Maltese set up a national assembly which met at Mdina's Bank Agiratel. The rebels were successful, and in 1800 the French surrendered and Malta became a British protectorate. From 1883 to 1931, Mdina was linked with Valletta by the Malta Railway. Today, Mdina is one of Malta's major tourist attractions, hosting about 750,000 tourists a year. No cars, other than a limited number of residents, emergency vehicles, wedding cars and horses, are allowed in Mdina, partly why it has earned the nickname the Silent City. The city displays an unusual mix of Norman and Baroque architecture, including several palaces, most of which serve as private homes. An extensive restoration of the city walls was undertaken between 2008 and 2016.